Breaking news update, breaking news update, breaking news update, breaking news update. Boosie Badass slams what he calls the racist prosecutor after being re-indicted on a gun case. Sit back, enjoy the ride. We're going to keep this to the point. We're going to keep it moving. If you subscribe, hit the notification bell. If you're not subscribed, hit the subscribe and the notification bell. Let's get this started. Don't have much time. Want to just give it to you raw so you understand what Boosie's going through from a gangster's point of view. All right? You know what it is. Boosie Badass slams what he calls the racist prosecutor after being indicted in a gun case. Again, or should I say re-indicted, okay? Rapper Boosie is facing new charges in connection to the San Diego arrest, which you already know. If you don't know, now you do. Rapper, all right? Torrance Boosie Hatch Jr. is facing new charges in connection to his arrest in San Diego last year, less than 2 weeks after a federal judge threw out the previous case against him. Boosie Badass, 41 years old, has accused a prosecutor of being racist after being re-indicted in his San Diego gun case. U.S. Attorney Tara McGough office filed another indictment on Friday last week for 2 counts of firearm possession, one involving interstate commerce as a convicted felon, and one for knowingly possessing a firearm while dealing with abuse of a controlled substance. Now, pay attention to this, right? I'm going to break this down because y'all wondering how they could do this, right? The case against Boosie had recently been dismissed due to a recent federal court precedent that found that the law unconstitutional as it applies to those convicted of nonviolent crimes, saying that if you got a nonviolent crime, you know, the Supreme Court ruled that you're allowed to, you know, carry a firearm as long as it was a nonviolent crime. Now, so he's you know where he's going with it. But less than 2 weeks later, he's again facing the same charges. Now, the new indictment shows that prosecutors are doubling down on the allegations against Boosie and seeking to seize all firearms and ammunition involved in the commission of the offense. The 41-year-old rapper also faces the potential of up to 10 years in prison if convicted. Boosie did not take the news of his re-indictment well, lashing out on social media. We're going to get to the social media. Now, picture this, fucker. We're going to ride. Picture you just, you know, you get notice while you're on vacation with your family that the case is dismissed. You know, they tell you could cut the monitor off. You cut the monitor off. You jump off a big rock with your family, dive in the water. You know, of course, you retrieve the bracelet because you want to keep it for a souvenir because, you know, they can NFT it and it's going to be worth a bag of money for his great-great-grandkids, which now is just a monitor that was cut off, right? Then you get news that they're re-indicting you again. First of all, right, so y'all understand, Boosie was charged in San Diego in the state court for having a firearm because he pulled up, you know, I think it was a video shoot or something. He had a bang in his back, in the back waist. Somebody took a picture of it, put it up on social media. Prosecutors, of course, is watching social media. So all you youngins out there dealing with this social media and trying to be in the street, know that you can't put your business in the street. This is not like back in the days. I remember back in the days, we used to take pictures, you know, with our guns, stack of money, drugs, cutting up drugs. I got a bunch of those pictures that I ain't even released yet. But you know what I mean? I'm talking about I got a picture with me in a room with 500 keys for those of y'all that don't believe the paperwork. So, you know, when I do my full documentary, you'll see me in a room filled with 500 keys, another room filled with about $5-6 million because, you know, one room was for the drugs and one apartment with another room was for the money. You never put the money with the drugs. Because if they find the money, you can't claim the money as being legal money if it's associated in the vicinity of drugs. Not telling y'all what to do, just telling y'all how the law works. But it's not worth it, so I'm telling you don't do it, so this is not the glorified. So now, right, so that's where we at with Boosie, right? So they re-charged him. He got charged in San Diego. He beat that case, right? They dismissed it, then the feds picked it up, you know what I mean? Then the feds dropped the case, then the feds picked it back up, and everybody's saying, how could they keep dropping and picking it up? Because he hasn't been in a court of law to deal with the allegation, so they're capable of picking it up, you know, re-indicting, dismissing, superseding, and all that crap before you go to court with it. Once you go to court with it, then they can't do nothing else with it because that would be double jeopardy if you've already been convicted of it. But that's in the feds. And you could be convicted of a gun, right? This is crazy, right? So we're gonna give the, we're gonna give the rat bastard something to talk about. Let's give him another gunshot. I like the way it goes. Pow, pow. All right. Now, you could be found guilty in a state court, and then the feds could still come in and pick up the case and then charge you in federal court. But when they bring it into federal court, they don't charge you as a whole new charge. They usually put it in an indictment associated with the word conspiracy. Conspiracy was the weapon that they use to take, the black and brown people off the streets back in the 80s and 90s. Now, the way they use the conspiracy that way is they'll put the gun, they'll charge you with conspiracy, let's say to sell drugs, conspiracy to do whatever, and then they'll take that same charge that you was, convicted of or even acquitted of, and they'll put it, if you're acquitted, then they could pick it up. Now, listen, this is crazy. If you're acquitted of a charge in the state, the feds can then pick that same charge up and retry you again and recharge you again in the feds. Does that make any sense? You get acquitted by jury, your own peer in the state, and then here come the feds to pick it up. And that's why I tell you, I feel sorry for this young man, Young Thug, because Jeffrey Williams, because the game that the feds is playing, right? First of all, they found, other guns that's allegedly his, with silencers and things like that and choppers or whatever. But they found weapons that carry at least 20 years in the feds that they did not even put in the state indictment. Pay attention, because ain't nobody else going to tell you this, because they ain't been through the bull crap that I've been through to know how these devils play the game. Now, those guns that, Jeffrey Williams, Young Thug, is charged with, that they're said they found in his possession when they arrested him or raid or whatever, those same guns was not charged in the state indictment. That's because after the state is done with him, the feds is going to then go back and indict him on those gun charges that was not processed in the state yet. So that's the ace in the hole in case he beat it, because they know he's going to beat it. You know what I mean? So, right now they know. At the time they didn't know, because they overzealous and they think they automatically gonna get a conviction because they get the rat bastards to cooperate. But Little Woody blew their case up. So now they blew that up. So he's gonna wind up getting a mistrial, because imagine a judge having to read 18 months of transcripts. The trial been going on for 18 months. 18 months of testifying in cross-examination and motions filed and motions denied and motion hearings. 18 months, this woman has to read all of these transcripts to get caught up. Common sense tells you to just start over and let her go fresh, because it's going to take another year or 18 months just to read over 18 months of a transcript. So what they doing with this now, right? They're going to come back and they're going to charge, Young Thug, with the gun charges in the feds, and then they're going to indict him in the feds for the same RICO charge, but now they're going to tighten it up because they know who's saying what, what's saying who, and now, not to wish bad on nobody, not even the ones that testified against him, but Little Woody, you're going to be on that indictment, and that body that you said you did that they wanted you to put on Young Thug, they will be charging you for that. They will be charging you for that. Not maybe, they will be charging you for that. And I don't think they're going to make a deal with you this time because you already showed what you're capable of blowing up a case. So you will be in Young Thug's next indictment. You skipped the indictment because you agreed to testify and work with what we on the street, when I was on the street, not now, call the enemy. Got it. Okay, so Lil Woody, enjoy your time because it's numbered. You know what I mean? Not wishing bad on you. You know what I mean? Not that I give a crap either because you took the stand. But anyway, you blew the case up, and for that, you get a round of applause. For that, you get a round of applause. All right, come on, man, so I can get back to Boosie. I got things to do today. Let's go. I got to get back to Boosie. So now, you know, so like I said, he got charged in the state of San Diego. They dismissed the charge. The feds picked the charge up. Then the feds dismissed the charge. Then the feds picked it up and re-indicted him. And now they add this other one, this other charge in there about, you know, him being, you know, a abuser of drugs or a knowing user of drugs in possession of a firearm. That's what they call an addict in the possession. But little Boosie could beat that one. That one is going to be none. They just threw it up there to hopefully they try and get him to plead guilty. So they threw that charge up there, you know, about, you know, the addict. Boosie been on probation or parole for a year. He's been pissing clean for a year. So an addict ain't going to piss clean for a year, so that one is not going to stick, but they just threw it on him. But all they're going to do is put all that on him, because the bigger they make the charges, to give them something to throw away to say, let's make a deal. I'm going to throw out the addict in possession of a firearm, and I'm only going to, you know, sentence you for the initial gun that we tried to get you on from the state of San Diego when we brought it over to the feds. But we figured you was doing too much talking on Vlad TV, too much talking on social media, talking too much like you a stand-up man, and you are a stand-up man. And what I want to say about that, Ron, a lot of people wanted me to weigh in on this sooner with Lil Boosie about, you know, how he beat the charge, how he get bail, how he get this, how he get that. Because the case is flimsy. You know what I mean? I didn't touch it at the time because I knew it was more to it, and I'm not going to come on here on Unique Mecca Audio and label anyone a rat bastard unless there's proof and paperwork. Now, and I know how the system works, so I knew that what they was doing with Boosie, so I stayed out of that. But now, here go Lil Boosie getting ready to be charged in the Fed. So do y'all understand how they did that now? All right? Because I can give you an example, right? Because we like to ride. You know, we like to ride. Let me give you an example, right? This is how they did it. In my case, because I could equate my case to anything criminal because I was a career criminal, is what they labeled me as. Now, in my case, right, they got me for sending 330 kilos of crack cocaine down the eastern seaboard to Virginia alone, not counting whatever they said I did allegedly in, you know, D.C., Maryland, you know, Baltimore, Philly, North Carolina, you know, South Carolina, you know what I mean? And a little bit Atlanta, you know. So they would have been way over the chart, but they figured 330 was enough to bury me because all you needed was 15 kilos. All you need was 5 kilos of crack to get life, and I had 330 kilos in Virginia alone, but they charged me in a federal court, which means that was against the whole United States, so that was their one shot, so that's why I could talk about it now. They never expect me to make it out here to tell you youngins it's not worth it. These people is not playing. So don't say I did not tell you. It's not worth it. Don't do it. They're not playing. They got all kinds of tricks up their sleeve. But let me ride back to my story. In my case, they said that I sent 330 kilos down to my brother. My brother was down in Virginia. They said he was selling the cocaine to, you know, in the whole Tidewater region area. Whenever he had issues, I went down there, and they already knew that I like to bust my gun. You know what I mean? So now, they couldn't get me on the drug charges down in Virginia, so they got me being a kingpin all the way in New York City behind me, sending the drugs up and down to the eastern seaboard. Now, when it got down there, my brother sold it to multiple people, let's say 100 different people. Now, one block, somebody got in a shootout, and someone, a young female got shot by a stray bullet. So that brought the feds in. And then someone got killed by somebody on the block that my brother was selling the drugs on, right? They know who did it. They pled guilty to it, and one went to trial. Now, in that case, right, my man, my co-defendant, rest in peace. My co-defendant went to trial in the state on this charge, you know what I mean? and had like 2 mistrials in the state, you know? So what they did is then the feds picked it up and charged him with the same thing in the feds and put him on my indictment. Now, when they put him on my indictment, or everybody from the block that he hustled on, they made them workers of my brother because my brother supplied that block at times. Not all the time, of course. They came, bought a little 2, 3 keys from him at a time, and if, you know, they didn't like his prices, they went somewhere else to get it cheaper, got robbed because that was cut up when you got it cheaper, but we left our, you know, work pure. Now, so he sits there, and they charge him in the feds, and he goes to trial in the feds for something that he had 2 mistrials to in the state. Picture that. Now, all the co-defendants on my case that was on that block that was already in the state of Virginia prison system, they all got put on my indictment, and they gave them 1 charge on the indictment: conspiracy. So they gave him conspiracy to distribute or possess with intent to distribute, you know, cocaine. That was it. No other charges. But they took their actions that they pled guilty to in the state, and they moved it over to the feds, put it in the indictment, and made them what they call overt acts. Overt acts is what happens over the course of the life of the conspiracy. Do you understand the words that are coming out of my mouth? You understand? They pled guilty. They doing time for it in the state. They bring them all back to the federal court, and they charged them with 1 charge, conspiracy, and put everything they pled guilty to as overt acts. And this happened over the course of me and my brother's conspiracy. And of course, they went in there and they all turned rat bastards and testified against my brother. I didn't even know these dudes because they was good workers. If they screwed up the money and they wasn't good workers, then of course, you know what goes down next. But anyway, so, you know, that's not, you know, promote anything, just letting you know that's how it works on the street. So now they all got this federal indictment for conspiracy, and all of their prior acts that they already was serving time for, they brought over in the feds and called them overt acts. And they wasn't done with those prior cases that they already pled guilty to in the state, even though they copped out in the feds. What they did now is they used those acts, the drugs that they pled guilty to, the violence that they did, you know, whatever they did in the state that they pled guilty to, now they used it to enhance them, enhance their sentence. That means they was looking at, you know, 10 to life, you know. So now, you know, they said, okay, well, you pled guilty to selling drugs here, so you're enhanced for that. You pled guilty for being the shooter when the little girl got shot, so you're enhanced for that. You know what I mean? And they ran their time up and then said, now what are y'all going to do? And of course, they said, man, I'm pleading guilty. And they all pled guilty. They did maybe 7 years, 8 years, went home. I refused to testify. They wanted me to put it on my brother, said they'll give me immunity if I put it on my brother. I refused to do it. I went to trial. I blew trial. Now, after trial, they came back at me after, you know, my brother got murdered and said, look, we just want to know what happened because you sold too much drugs for the state of Virginia. So we want to know who you getting it from, what you did. But we're going to put that aside. We just want you to say that your brother did that because your brother, you know, is still alive and we don't have a conviction on your brother and we want to get him for a conviction. So we need you to say that your brother was guilty, that you was sending drugs down to your brother. I refused to do that, so I had to do life in jail. And my brother was already dead. But that's the rules of the street. It don't matter if he's dead or alive. You do not tell on a man or a woman or anybody. You got caught, you wear your own consequences. That's why if you don't agree with what I'm saying, you don't like what I'm saying, you got a butt for why I'm saying it and the reasons and this and that, that means you're on the right track and you need to continue to get on that track and be a civilian, get a job, go to school, stay home and raise your family and make love to your woman and watch your mother grow old. All right? Because I missed my mother for 26 years. I went in, she was in the 50s, came home, she's in the 80s. Figure that out. Now, so you fully understand where I'm coming from. These people not playing, man. Get out the street. All right? Get out the street. Now, this is what Boosie did, right? Now, we're going to finish. Boosie, you know, he commented on Twitter, right? What they call X. He said, I'm on vacation with my family. My lawyer called me and said the federal prosecutor, the federal prosecutor has indicted me again on the same charge and added a charge that I was a drug addict. An addict around a firearm, shaking my head. Why you didn't charge me with that the first time, right? The judge had ruled, right? He said, Boosie said, why you didn't charge me that the first time? He said, nah, we holding something in the back the same way we holding those guns in the back, you know, for Young Thug. Because we always want an ace in the hole. You know nowadays, you got an ace in the hole. When you playing poker, you show some of your cards, but you hold your ace in the hole in the back. Now, at this point, you making this a circus is what Boosie said, right? This has to be unconstitutional. This shows how far these devils will go to try and stop a successful black man with a voice. You're 100% right, Boosie. You're 100% right. And the crazy part is people were starting to take the social media speculating that you was a rat bastard, you know what I mean? Because you got out on bail and this and that, but I refuse to do it, you know what I mean? Because I got to keep it 100, you know? At this point, right? Now, this man has a serious, this is what Boosie said, this man has a serious vendetta of hate against me. He wants me, right? He wants me to be a character, and he just doesn't respect the courts. He's racist, and he has no respect for the court. That's what Boosie said, right? So then he said, if I wasn't Boosie, this would not be happening to me. This same man looked at me, said, wipe me down, right? One of Boosie's song titles, right? On my first court appearance. In other words, he said, man, I know who you are. You made that song, Wipe Me Down. Well, I'm going to wipe you down in this courtroom. I'm going to show you how we play. You want to talk about being a gangster. You want to talk about not telling. You want to talk about not cooperating. Okay, well, I'm going to wipe you down. You know what I mean? So he knew the fix was in, right? He's obsessed, Boosie said. I've never seen nothing like this in my damn life. 30 of us on vacation, and I get this news. He took 30 of his family members on vacation, and then he get the news that they re-indicting them. Come on, man. He put his hardest battles, right? This is what Boosie said. He said he puts his hardest battles on his strongest soldiers. God got me. The man doesn't respect the law. Tell the president to pardon this bull crap. Only way you're going to get that, Donald Trump get in. Because Joe Biden done buried us in court, and the last thing he trying to do now is even fix the mess that he made, that Bill Clinton went up there and cried, said it was the worst thing he ever did was sign that crime bill for the mandatory minimum that took our freedom away from our children and family members for over 30 years. And now we have this madness with our children that was raised with Grand Theft Auto and all this social media without their fathers there to help them. Come on. Boosie's original gun case. Let's talk about that. Boosie Badass gun case stems from June 2023, when he was arrested in San Diego while exiting a courtroom after just having a separate gun case dismissed by the court. Prosecutors originally wanted to keep the Wipe Me Down hit maker locked up until trial, but he was bonded out with charges later dismissed before re-indictment. And that's where all the rat bastards and social media flip-flop wearing and public trolls, you know what I mean, tried to label this stand-up man as a rat. Stop it. Yo, Boosie, contact me. I like you. I've been watching you, and I like you, but you're saying a lot of things that you just need guidance from an old gangster that done been there and done that you can't really say. Because I saw one of the videos where your brother admitted that all your shows in a video, I think it was No Jump or one of them, where he signed your name, that's a federal charge. You see, if you had somebody like me before, y'all go up there on these shows, you would know what to say and not to say. Remember when Lil Durk took King Von up there to the Breakfast Club, I think it was, and Charlamagne asked him something, blah, 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 and he coughed to let him know, nigga, don't say nothing. You know what I mean? You need a nigga like me there to cough. Nigga, don't say nothing. But anyway, that's where we at, right? So now, Hatch, right? That's Hatch, who is based in Louisiana, has been in the midst of an ongoing legal tangle, right, in San Diego for over a year, following his arrest by police in the Callis View, Callis View neighborhood in May 2023. Now, he had apparently been in town to film a music video and performed at a local club. Now, let me give you one, right? Because I like to ride. Let me give you one, right? You know, y'all get all kinds of jewels from me. Now, I met a Spanish brother, Latin King from Florida. I ain't got to say his name, you know. Contact me. You know who you are. That was my man, too. He got caught up, right? He got caught up because he made a music video where he was driving around the video and he was on probation and he had a fake gun in the video. And from that fake gun, right, they took that video and they charged him with a convicted felon in possession of a weapon, and wound up giving him 15 years or 12 years for a felon in possession of a weapon because he had a fake gun in the video and they said he couldn't touch a gun. And the gun didn't have no bullets, was a prop gun, and he still got 15 years and had to serve that time. You understand? That's how serious this is. Y'all making videos with guns and all that. Even fake guns. We don't even know if the gun Boosie had in his back was fake. You know what I mean? He could have clearly just said, and that's where if I was his lawyer or I was his consultant, I would have just told Boosie straight up. You know what I mean? Yo, family, let's say it was a prop gun and show him a prop gun that looked like it. That's what I would have did. You know what I mean? Say, man, it was a fake gun. Why y'all doing this? But even if you do that, I just told you about my man that got 15 years for a fake gun, that he argued the same thing, and they said, real or fake, your black ass, your Latin ass ain't supposed to be touching no firearm. And, you know, I was helping him with his case, and we always trying to get him out, but that's the way that go. So now, San Diego police first became involved after officers viewed an Instagram live stream, saw a man with a black handgun tucked into the waistband of his pants in the backyard of a residence, according to the court documents. You see a video of a man with a gun tucked in the back of his, pants, and you automatically say it's real. You know, why? Because it's Boosie? No, because they also did it to the king down in Florida. These are the games they play. Don't want y'all to get caught up on it. Don't say I didn't tell you. You know what I mean? The man was later identified as Hatch, a.k.a. Little Boosie, who had left the scene when officers arrived. So he left the scene and everything, right? And they go get him later. I wonder, did they get the gun? That's what I need to know. So the San Diego Police Department then tracked him down using a helicopter and conducted a traffic stop. According to prosecutors, 2 loaded handguns were found in the back of the vehicle. The driver of the vehicle, Hatch's bodyguard, was also taken into custody as a result of the incident, but was not charged. They didn't charge the bodyguard, but they charged him. Look what's going on here, y'all. Local prosecutors first attempted to bring firearm possession charges against Hatch when those were dropped. The Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearms and Explosives, that's the ATF, took over the case, rearrested the rapper on June 14th under warrant for a similar firearm charge. Lil Boosie pled not guilty to the federal charge in June and was released on a $100,000 bond shortly thereafter. And that's when the trolls took to social media and YouTube and started labeling a stand-up man like Boosie a rat. They said, oh, he had to tell. There's no way he got out on a federal gun charge. And this because they had a plan. Y'all got to sit back and let it play out. That's why I said the same thing like with the Diddy thing. Let it play out. They're getting ready to drop some serious Diddy news for y'all because the election is getting ready to heat up. We got the first black woman running for president in the United States against someone that they labeled an alleged racist. Diddy, you're going to be the center of this whole election. Watch what I tell you. Don't say Unique Mecca audio to tell you, because I will come back when they start dropping tapes or drop an indictment or whatever, saying, you know, something about Diddy, because that's the only thing they feel is big enough to blindside us, to keep us blinded, to keep us deaf from what's going on with the election, and to keep us from those election polls. Now, when that, well, I'm talking about Boosie now, back to Boosie, because we ride a lot here. We ride a lot, right? When that case was dismissed, he posted an Instagram video from the Lazy River, right, at San Diego's Sacrum Casino Resort. My nigga, you still in San Diego? That's why I don't even, if I go to Virginia, I go to see my kids and I'm in and out of there. Stay out of San Diego, man. What is wrong with you? You see, that's why you need somebody like me to tell you, stay the hell away from San Diego, because like you rubbed it in their face. You're lucky they didn't come try and pick you up there at Lazy River, you know? So don't do that, man. Don't do that, you know? He was apparently celebrating the end of the case, that he beat the case, and then now they dropped this on him. When that case was dismissed, right, he posted on Instagram video from the Lazy River San Diego resort, right, that he was apparently celebrating, right? So now we go. Boosie, who has had multiple stage names over the years, like Little Boosie and Boosie Badass, is known for songs like Wipe Me Down and Set It Off. That's why they want this man. You know what I mean? Let's keep it real. Now, they're going to use these lyrics against us. Now, I want to give a round of applause to Luke Skywalker. I want to give a round of applause to Luke Skywalker. See, we ride here and we give history here. Relax, relax. Let me finish this because I got to go. Now, I want to give a round of applause to Luke Skywalker. Luke Skywalker, the one that went to the Supreme Court with the Me So Horny album and won the freedom of speech on records because they tried to stop him from getting a bag back in the 80s, just so you understand. Now you have freedom of speech, and now where's the freedom of speech if you're going to take your freedom of speech from your creative craft and then tell you that we're going to take you to court of law like we're doing to Jeffrey Williams, a.k.a. Young Thug, and lock him up for the rest of his life? Come on, where they do that at? Over the years, right? Now, over the years, the rapper has had multiple run-ins with law enforcement, including at least one case where he was accused of a violent crime, but he has only been convicted of and incarcerated for non-violent felony drug charges. Come on, y'all. Free Little Boosie. Let Boosie go, man. Let the man go. Boosie, contact me, because these interviews you're doing, they're going to come back to bite you, and I want to make sure that you don't go no further with this, and I'm going to do this on the strength because I just don't want to see you go down, because I really respect your gangster. I watched the video on your history with everything that went back from when you was a kid just coming up, and I respect your gangster, and I definitely don't want you to go down. You got an elder here now that know what time it is. If you're not subscribed, subscribe. If you're already subscribed and you you didn't hit the notification bell, please hit the notification bell. If you subscribe, hit the notification bell. If you're just subscribing, most of all, hit the notification bell and then hit the thumbs up. Been on here long enough, got things to do and people to go and places to see and all that. All right.
Cheers, cheers, toast the crime, toast the crime, the crime, the crime, the crime.
Fresh out the can of 26, yeah. Heat back on the strip, getting back in the mix. Yeah. What he mentions a gift. You stand up 10 toes down, and I suggest you pay attention to this. Real. Take a little gully posse and put it in Harlem. He cut from the bottom, came up from the bottom. Drop the book, you should go and get it. The Instagram page and the YouTube, you could go and visit. Then you could consider yourself LinkedIn. Sit front row and get Jews from a kingpin. How he went through it, so you ain't gotta go do it. To not pay attention would be stupid. Talking about a man that probably put your grandfather on. Probably the reason that him and your grams got along. A man that generated millions on the block, did his time, never squilling to the cops, Mecca audio. 2 G's in the 90s. Drop top Beamer so shiny. I let shorty go, she was whining. Treat her like my past, she behind me. Spend a couple bands on the Dapper Dan. You back again, getting green like a Packers fan. No cap, it's a roaring uptown. They be horn uptown, Dominican bust downs. Now we on the positive, we got a lot to give. Now he trying to stop the kids from being inoperative. So take heed, homie, lend a ear. He started in uptown, he gon' finish dead. But now it ain't about selling drugs, buying cars. It's about buying property to make the community ours.